Hi friends, it's Gwen. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to read my first sports romance, and I know you guys are probably shocked. Again, anytime I read one of these, the first time I read a cozy mystery, the first time I read a historical romance, everybody is always shocked that I haven't read the niche genre that I'm talking about, and I don't believe I've read a sports romance before. I grabbed 3 books off of my shelf that do have like sports in them, but I don't consider them sports romance. I don't think they're considered sports romance. So the first one is The Proposal. And this one is by Jasmine Guillory, and this I know for sure is not a sports romance because they just go to a baseball game. So I know it's not a sports romance, but it has sports in it. The next one is Fix Her Up by Tessa Bailey. I have read this one, and I know he is like an ex-baseball player, but throughout the story, like, he's out of baseball. So I don't think that counts. And then The Bromance Book Club by Alyssa K. Adams. I also don't consider sports romance because, like, yeah, sports aren't like related in any way. So those are the only really, like, that's as close as I have come to reading a sports romance before. But let me go ahead and show you the books that I was deciding between. So I had 3 books, and I told you guys in some video that I was gonna like ask you guys on my Instagram. So I did. I posted all 3 of these on my Instagram. Always Only You. This is a hockey romance. The Wall of Winnipeg and Me. This is a football romance. And then Long Shot, a basketball romance. And I didn't really have a particular one that I wanted to win the poll or anything like that because I've never read one. I have all 3, so I'm going to eventually read all 3. But I did pick them up all for different reasons. But anyway, so I posted the poll, and guys, it was neck and neck. Like, it would, like, this one would get a vote, then these 2 would get a vote. This one would get 2 votes, these 2 would get 2 votes. It was insane. So, and then I had people messaging me like, please, you have to read this one. If you don't read this one, I'll be crushed. And I was just like, dude, like, you guys are really passionate about your sports romance. But so it was so freaking close that I decided to take out this hockey romance and save this for a later date. It is the 2nd book in a series, the Bergman Brothers series. I think that's where, yeah, the Bergman Brothers series. And I haven't read the 1st book. So I was like, okay, I'll take that one out and read the 1st book. Like, I'll read them in order, even though you don't have to. So then it was just between these 2. It was still very, very close, but between these 2, football won. And I don't know if it was like because of the Super Bowl was like right around the time that I was doing the poll or what, but yes. So I will be reading The Wall of Winnipeg and Me. And guys, this is the chunkiest book out of all of them. So I was not quite expecting that when I got it. Yeah, so it's over 600 pages, over 650 pages, but I will be tackling this football sports romance book, and I'm really, really excited. Okay, it's been a while. I had to put this down. I was dealing with some mental health things, and I wasn't making progress in any books, much less this behemoth. But I did pick it up yesterday. I actually read like a couple other things yesterday. I finished up the book that I was currently reading. I read a comic. I read a small graphic novel. And then I was like, okay, I need to jump back into this because I want this to be my first sports romance. I did talk about this in my, what was it? My book haul, my wrap up. I talked about this in another video that this is the one that I did decide to read for my first sports romance. And I am really excited about it, but it is daunting. So yeah, I'm on page 119, chapter 7, and not that much has happened yet other than introducing us to the two main characters. So you have Vanessa and you have Aiden, and she works for Aiden, who is the Wall of Winnipeg, and he's this really big football player. He's a little grumpy. I think he's misunderstood. And he's kind of rude to Vanessa, and like just like rude in general. He seems like he has like a chip on his shoulder type thing, and she decides that she is done being his assistant and she's gonna go off and pursue her like dreams and stuff like that. So she leaves, and she actually had planned like, okay, I'm gonna leave on this date, like a 2 weeks notice type thing. And he just pisses her off so bad when an incident happens that she like walks out, and that's it. She's done. She's happy with her decision. And then Aiden shows up on her doorstep, not once, but twice. And that's kind of where I am right now. He's trying to convince her to come back and work for him. And she keeps telling him like, no, why should I? You never appreciated me. He offers more money. And she's like, no, it's not worth it to me. All right, I thought I would give a little update on the Wall of Winnipeg and me. I am currently on chapter 225, chapter 11, and I am enjoying it. It has definitely picked up since she left, and he's invited her back into his life. I don't really know how much to spoil or talk about and how much not to. I'm not going to go into any major spoilers, but there might be like minor plot things that I mention and stuff like that. So right before she left, it seemed like he got a phone call or something like that that was making Vanessa think that maybe he was wanting to go to another team or being traded to another team or something along those lines. But she didn't put too much thought into it because obviously she was leaving, and she was upset when she left. He went to her house, like I said, several times and asked her back into his life. They talked about him getting a green card, a working visa, so he could stay in the US instead of going back to Canada, I believe. Is that where he's from? Yeah, I think so. And she said like, oh, you should, you know, get married, like that would take care of it. And he was like, yeah, how about you marry me? And she's like, what? No, like that's illegal, that's a felony, no way. And he's like, he kind of kept pestering her about it, and he said, you know, I'll offer you more money and all of that. And she's like, no. And then he finally said, I'll pay off your school loans and I'll buy you a house. And she was like, let me think about that, because I guess her school loans were like $200,000, and obviously buying a house, like he'd be buying her a nice house, not like a mansion, but not like a crappy house. And all she'd have to do is marry him so he could get the paperwork he needs to stay in the US. And she's like, not half bad. So she agrees, and she's moved into his house, and they're going to be basically like faking it for the next 5 years, because I guess that's how long it would be like believable, and for the paperwork and so forth. And he's going to pay her loan off over the next 3 years. Very different angle. I'm on the floor in my bedroom, and I thought I would give you an update. So I did end up taking a nap, which was really nice. Apparently I needed it, but I made it to page 291. I'm going to be getting chapter 15. Like I said, the story has definitely picked up. They've both made it clear that they're in it for the 5 years, and that they're going to support each other, and you know, all of that. And it's just really nice to see, because I definitely think it's gonna like head towards the romance side of things. I am really enjoying it. So it did take me a bit to get into, because the whole part where she's basically describing how grumpy he is in the beginning, like when she's his assistant or whatever, It was a little bit too much, a little bit too slow paced for me. But after she left and then he starts coming to her house to ask her to come back. Also, I don't think I made it clear earlier, since they're like, they got married and it's like a fake relationship now, she's not working for him anymore. She's just there as his wife. So yeah, so reading this, enjoying this. Wow, I can't believe I read so much today. It's actually like flying by now. But I did just go out to the mail and I got my book of the month box, and I'm not sponsored by them. I've been subscribed to them for 3 years now, 3 or 4 years now. Quite a long time. But guys, this month they had so many good books, and a lot of them were early releases. Some of my most anticipated books of the year are in here. So let's go ahead and open it. Right there on top, people we meet on vacation. I cannot believe I got an early copy of this. This is crazy. Yeah, this comes out next month, you guys, and I have it in my hands right now. Also, another anticipated release, The Hunting Wives by 𝒑𝒏𝒌𝒔. This one also, I believe, comes out. Does it come out this month or next month? I think this is an early release too, but this is one of my most anticipated books. So is this one. This is what I love about Book of the Month, is that you get books that you probably already have on your radar. If not, they already sound good, and you can get them early. Oh my gosh. So there is a link in the description box of this video and all of my videos that you can sign up and get your first book for $9.99, which is insane because this book is going to cost whoever buys it, you know, at the bookstore, $26. This one is, it doesn't say on the dust jacket, but around $26. And the last book I get, Arsenic and Adobe. I'm so excited about this. I didn't put this in my anticipated releases because I didn't find out about it until after I put out that video, but I'm just really, really excited about this one. This one also does not have the retail price, but let me look up on my phone. Let's go to Amazon and let's just see how much these books will be on Amazon. So let's see, the paperback that comes out on May 4th is going to be $15.99. So here it is right here. $15.99 on Amazon for the paperback, and I have the hardback, which isn't even listed on Amazon. So this one comes out, ooh, there was a hair. This one comes out on May 4th, and I got that one early. Let's check the prices of the other ones. It's going to be, for the paperback, $12.98. No, $12.89. Again, that's for the paperback version, and I have the hardback. And the last one, a hardcover, you can get it for $22.99 on Amazon. So definite steal if you get these books through Book of the Month rather than Amazon or some other like low-cost retailer. It's just, and look how beautiful they look. But let's go ahead and peek under. There's usually not anything too wonderful, but I always like to have a look. Awesome. Yeah, I might actually abandon all plans and read these really, really soon. I'm back with another update. Hello, it is Sunday, Easter Sunday. So we did brunch at my house with my mother-in-law, and I talked to my parents on the phone. hung out with some of my friends on video calls, went outside in the sunshine for a little bit, and now it is 2:05, and I wanted to give you an update on The Wall of Winnipeg and Me because I read so much of this yesterday, you guys. And I'm coming up on the ending. I stand by what I said earlier that I wish it was told in dual POV so we could get inside Aiden's head and figure out, because there's still something. I feel like there's something that I don't know, and I feel like there's going to be a reason why he always comes off the way that he comes off, or that she perceives him the way that she's explaining to us this whole time. And I think us not knowing that until like the end is gonna affect the enjoyment for me. I don't know. I mean, I really do like it, don't get me wrong. Like, it's probably a solid 4 stars. I just don't know if I'll give it the 5 stars because it is massive, and I don't think it needed to be this long. I don't think any book needs to be this long. I think there's always scenes that aren't as important as other scenes that could be cut, but I'm also just really liking it. And it's not that it's boring, it just is a lot of character development, and we know how I feel about that. But I think this is a good balance of character development and plot development. I don't know. I definitely do want to pick up more books by her, especially like sports romance books by her. I don't know if she only writes sports romance, but I've talked to you guys about Culty, and that's the soccer age gap romance. I think that will be my next one. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm just excited to see like where it goes, because things have definitely developed between them, even though it's not like, you know, it's kind of like subtle, you know, we're still in those subtle stages, and I only have that much more to go. So yeah, so I'm going to continue reading today, see how far I get. And I'm really curious what my final rating is going to be, because like everybody I know, this is like one of their favorite books of all time. They think I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 stars. And I'm like really hoping I can give this 5 out of 5 stars. I have this much left to go. Oh, look at this behemoth of a book. Oh my gosh. And I am coming in the home stretch. I'm on page 563 of 665, I believe. So like, yeah, like 100 pages to go. And guys, it is so freaking cute. I just ship this couple so much. I stand by that I wish that it was dual POV. I stand by that I wish we would have known earlier on like some of the things that happened to Aiden and made Aiden the way that they are. I don't know if I'll get more reveals or not, but they're just so freaking wholesome and so freaking sweet. And oh my gosh, you guys, I can't get over it. They're so wholesome, so sweet, and I'm not ready for it to be over. I finished it, you guys. I finished The Wall of Winnipeg and Me. I will tell you my rating in a minute, so let me tell you my thoughts first. This is a more character-driven romance than a plot-driven romance, but it also has a good plot as well. So if you like character-driven stories, if you like plot-driven stories, I think this really does cast a good balance of both. So I think you'll really like that. That being said, it's over 600 pages, and I definitely do not think it needed to be 600 pages. However, it didn't feel 650 pages. You know what I'm saying? It definitely read a lot faster than you would think it would. And I will say that the beginning part before, so you have Vanessa working for Aiden as an assistant, and she's been doing that for 2 years. So you have that part of the storyline, and then she quits that job, and then she's pursuing her dream of graphic design. That's what she went to school for. She's been saving up money to do it, and so she quits her job working as his assistant, and then Aiden comes and begs her to come back, and they end up coming to a different agreement, which I'm going to get into in a minute. So then you have the after, and I don't think it needed to be 650 pages, and I wish they would have just shortened that beginning portion, because we still got to see, I mean, it's important to know that she was his assistant for 2 years and how he was during that time, because a lot of the rest of the book leans on her knowing these things about Aiden and how she felt towards him, and why she wasn't totally attracted to him like everyone else is, because he is this best defensive end in the NFL, and everybody like loves this guy. He's the wall. He's like this big muscular ripped guy, but he's totally different than you would expect for like a typical jock. He's vegan. He doesn't party. He doesn't do drugs or drink or stay out late. He's not into women. He basically is really like about the game itself and training himself to be the best and going to his games and coming home. And he has a strict schedule for himself, and I don't know, there was just something really cool about his character, but there was also really cool things about Vanessa as a character. She was super sassy. She didn't take shit from anybody, and I loved that. That's what they balanced each other out in that way, and he almost liked her sassiness. And I was worried in the beginning that he wouldn't have, I wouldn't like him. You know, I think that's really important in romance, is that you have to like the two people that you're shipping for the book. And I was worried that I wasn't gonna like him because he was just like so rude and so shallow and stuff like that. But there's definitely more to him that gets revealed over the story. And then as you see him kind of like open up and stuff like that, I don't know, I really did fall in love with him. And I really fell in love with them as a couple. Now, so a couple of things. The main storyline, the reason why he invited her back is he's like, hey, I really want to get my green card so I could stay in the United States, because he's from Canada. And he really wants to stay in the United States, and the plan is to get married so he can get his green card. They'll stay married for about 5 years, and then they can go their own separate ways. He's going to pay off her student loans, and he's going to buy her a house. Kind of like the green card storyline in Roomies by Christina Lauren. And I really did not like that storyline. However, I really didn't like it in here, but it didn't bother me as much in here. Maybe because it's not as much of a storyline. Like, that's the reason why he does invite her to his house, and they are like fake dating, but the whole green card thing really isn't brought up a lot until like the end. They definitely touch on it. Now, for as long as it is, this is the slowest burn romance that I think I've ever read in my entire life. And it is really slow burn. Like I said, it's like 650 pages, and you don't really, I don't think they even admit, or she doesn't even admit that she likes him or she's attracted to him until like 100 pages from the end. Like, it is really slow burn. And there's only one like sexy smutty scene, and it's at the very end. So I think there could have been like a couple more things sprinkled in that would have kept me really like, oh my gosh. But I think the subtleties of them opening up to each other and their banter and stuff like that really made me enjoy it. So my rating, I am gonna rate this story 4.5 stars, because it definitely does have some faults. It's a little too long. It could have had more smut. The beginning was a little slow, and I don't like that whole green card issue thing. And I really did like the side characters. I would like to see more of that like in another book. And I think that's really it. I mean, other than that, it was actually really, really good. And I would highly recommend it. You're in for a treat. It's definitely a long one, but it all feels like worthwhile. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna rate it 4.5 stars, which means I'm rounding it up to 5 stars on Goodreads, but on the story graph, I will put 4.5. So yeah, that's my final rating. So that was my first ever sports romance, and I will fondly remember this as my first sports romance because I can see this one like just sticking in my head for a very long time, like these characters and stuff like that. So I'm really excited. So yes, I did it. Woohoo! But yeah, that's all for this video. Thanks for coming along as I read my very first sports romance. It will not be my last. I definitely like this genre of romance, and I could see how it's different than things that I've read in the past that have like sports like sprinkled in. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, have a great day. I'll see you guys in another video very soon. Bye.